Let's learn how to talk about cults. I'm your host, Nas, native English speaker, CELTA certified, and your host in this session. Understanding cults. We're going to dive deep, a comprehensive exploration. Cults have long been a subject of fascination and concern in society. From Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to sensational headlines to gripping documentaries, the topic of cults captivates our imagination and raises questions about human behavior, manipulation, and belief systems. In this comprehensive video, we'll delve deep into the world of cults, exploring their origins, characteristics, and impact on society and individuals. Before we delve into the complexities of cults, let's start with a clear definition. What exactly is a cult? A cult can be defined as a group or movement led by a charismatic leader that holds unconventional beliefs and practices, often characterized by excessive devotion and control over its members. Cults have existed throughout history, with their origins dating back centuries. But what drives individuals to join cults? And how do these groups even come into existence? One theory suggests that cults emerge in times of societal upheaval or uncertainty, offering a sense of belonging and purpose to individuals seeking answers and community. Others argue that cults arise from charismatic leaders who manipulate and exploit vulnerable followers for personal gain. Cults share common characteristics that distinguish them from mainstream religious or social groups, and these include a charismatic leader. Cults are typically led by charismatic individuals who possess persuasive qualities and claim special insights or authority. Indoctrination. Members are often subjected to intense indoctrination techniques, including isolation, manipulation, and thought control. Group conformity. Cults enforce strict conformity among members, discouraging independent thinking and dissent. Financial exploitation. Many cults require financial contributions or donations from members, often under the guise of spiritual entitlement or advancement. Isolation. Cults often isolate members from friends, family, and the outside world to maintain control and once again to prevent dissent. This one's really interesting doomsday beliefs. Some cults espouse apocalyptic or doomsday beliefs, predicting catastrophic events and promising salvation or survival to their followers. So basically, these cults say that there's going to be an apocalypse and catastrophic events, probably the end of the world, but they promise salvation to their followers. They promise survival to their followers. They provide hope. The psychological impact of cult involvement can be profound and long lasting. So let's explore some of the effects experienced by former cult members. Joining the cult was like being in a trance. I felt like I was part of something bigger than myself. but I lost touch with reality and my sense of identity. Leaving the cult was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I had to rebuild my life from scratch and unlearn all the toxic beliefs and behaviors that were ingrained in me. Now, beyond the individual level and the individual victims, cults can have a significant impact on society as a whole. They can fuel extremism, promote harmful ideologies, and contribute to social division and conflict. In extreme cases, cults have been linked to acts of violence, terrorism, and mass suicide, leaving devastation in their wake. The link for the video for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is in the description below. Recognizing the signs of cult involvement and preventing cult recruitment are essential steps in safeguarding individuals and communities from harm. Educating the public about cults, promoting critical thinking skills, and providing support for cult survivors are crucial in combating the influence of cults and protecting vulnerable individuals. Now let's look at some examples of cults. The Manson family from 1967 to 1969, and the leader was Charles Manson. Charles Manson, the leader of the Manson family, preached a mix of apocalyptic and racist beliefs, drawing from various fringe philosophies and even interpretations of the Beatles' music. He believed in an impending race war, which he called Helter Skelter, and saw himself as a messianic figure destined to lead his followers through this cataclysmic event. The Manson family is infamously known for the brutal murders they committed in the late 1960s. In 1969, Manson directed his followers to carry out a series of murders, including the Tate LaBianca murders, in which actress Sharon Tate and several others were killed. And this is the basis for the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. These murders were intended to incite fear and chaos, which Manson believed would trigger the race war he prophesied. The Manson family's crimes shocked the nation and led to widespread fear and paranoia. The trials of Manson and his followers became one of the most sensationalized and closely followed legal proceedings in American history. The Manson family remains a chilling example of the destructive power of charismatic leadership and manipulation. Now let's look at the People's Temple 1955 to 1978. The leader was Jim Jones. Founded by Jim Jones, the People's Temple started as a racially integrated church focused on social justice and equality. However, over time, Jones became increasingly paranoid and authoritarian, claiming to be a prophet and the embodiment of divine principles. He preached a blend of Christianity, socialism, and apocalypticism, emphasizing loyalty to himself as the ultimate authority. The People's Temple gained notoriety for its relocation to Jonestown, Guyana, where Jones promised his followers a utopian community free from the evils of American society. In 1978, a US congressman and several journalists visited Jonestown to investigate reports of abuse. In response, Jones ordered his followers to carry out a mass murder suicide, resulting in the deaths of over 900 people, including children. The Jonestown Massacre remains one of the largest single-day losses of American civilian life in history. It exposed the dangers of unchecked authority and blind obedience within religious and social movements. The phrase, drinking the Kool-Aid, derived from the cyanide-laced drink used in the mass suicide, has become synonymous with unquestioning allegiance to a destructive ideology. Heaven's Gate, 1974 to 1997. The leaders, Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles. Heaven's Gate was founded by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles, who believed they were the two witnesses mentioned in the book of Revelation. They taught that Earth was about to be recycled and that salvation could only be achieved by leaving their physical bodies and ascending to a higher plane of existence. Heaven's Gate gained attention in 1997 when 39 members, including Applewhite, were found dead in a mass suicide in a mansion in San Diego, California. The group believed that by shedding their earthly vessels or their earthly bodies, they would be transported to a spaceship trailing the Hale-Bopp comet, where they would achieve salvation. The Heaven's Gate mass suicide shocked the public and raised questions about the influence of fringe beliefs and the power of charismatic leaders. It highlighted the dangers of isolation, indoctrination, and groupthink within close communities. The tragedy serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of extreme devotion to a charismatic leader and belief systems. Cults continue to be a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that warrants further study and attention. By understanding the origins, characteristics, and impact of cults, we can better equip ourselves to recognize their influence and protect against their harmful effects. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the world of cults. Together, let's shed light on this often misunderstood aspect of human behavior. But before you go, we have a couple idioms in store for you. And we also have a set of discussion questions which are used in our group classes. Drink Kool-Aid or drink the Kool-Aid. What does this mean? To blindly accept and follow a belief or ideology, often to one's detriment, so it's never a good thing. After joining the cult, he drank the Kool-Aid and became completely devoted to the leader's teachings. Behind closed doors, privately or secretly, away from public view. The cult's true activities were often conducted behind closed doors, away from scrutiny. jump on the bandwagon to join a popular trend or activity, and many vulnerable individuals jumped on the bandwagon and joined the cult without fully understanding its beliefs. In the cult's clutches, under the control or influence of a cult. So, despite warnings from friends and family, she remained in the cult's clutches, unable to break free from its grip. If you are joining a group class, here are some of the discussion questions and tasks. The link for the video Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is in the description below. If you are joining a group class, please prepare this speaking task. Thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Nas, and it's ciao for now.